The first product we're going to look at is the 3M single angle. The 3M single angle is slurry coated. The glue and the grit are mixed together first, then flooded onto the foam. This creates inconsistencies in the end product. This 3M sponge is made using 3.5-pound natural foam. We are testing 100 grit today. The next product we are going to look at is the Diablo single angle. The Diablo single angle is flood coated. First, the glue is applied to the foam, then the grit is flooded onto the glue. This creates a much more consistent end product. This Diablo sponge is made using 3.5-pound yellow foam. This is also 100 grit. The next product we are going to look at is the Rustoleum single angle. The Rustoleum single angle is flood coated. First, the glue is applied to the foam, then the grit is flooded onto the glue. This creates a much more consistent end product. This Rustoleum sponge is made using 3.5-pound charcoal foam. This is also 100 grit. The first set of testing we are going to do is rubbing the same brand sponges together to test for grain shed and sponge failure. We wouldn't expect much grain shed from the 3M due to the way the sponge is coated. Most of the grain gets mixed deep into the glue, leaving little to no grain on the surface of the sponge. As you will notice, there is some shedding as well as sponge failure. Next up is the Diablo sponge. We would expect to see some grain shed on this product since so much is exposed due to the coating process. This is a very extreme test that we do, but we want to see how well the grit is bonding to the glue. As you can see, the Diablo sponge is also experiencing grain shed as well as foam failure. Last up is the Rustoleum sponge. Also being flood coated, we are expecting to see some grain shedding. Once again, this test is extreme, but we are wanting to see how well the grain bonds to the glue with the manufacturing process. The Rustoleum sponge is made with a premium adhesive that is manufactured in the United States. While many are still trying to make the move from solvent sponges, we made the move 5 years ago and perfected the process. The second test we like to use is putting the sponges against each other to see which one fails first. First up is the 3M sponges versus the Rustoleum sponge. You can see that the 3M sponge is showing a lot more damage than the Rustoleum sponge. The 3M sponge is showing creasing, grit glue loss, and foam failure. The way the Rustoleum sponge is manufactured allows for a much durable finished product over the slurry-coated method that 3M uses. Next, we will be sanding the Diablo sponge versus the Rustoleum sponge. As stated before, both of these sponges are made using the flood coat system. This creates a much more durable bond and premium product. As you can see, even though these are both manufactured using the same system, the Rustoleum product is still a premium over the Diablo. The Diablo sponge is showing signs of the glue and foam failing. The Rustoleum sponge is still ready to be used even after the test. The last test we like to do is sanding the sponges on the edge of acrylic. We are trying to simulate what would happen if the sponge came into contact with a sharp edge. At this point, you're already starting to see foam failure, which indicates that the glue and grit bond have already been penetrated. Once again, the system used to coat these sponges does not allow 3M to make a durable sponge. Next up is the Diablo sponge. We would expect this sponge to last longer than the 3M. The glue being applied first, then the grit allows for a more durable coating. The sponge is experiencing failure as well. While not cut through as bad as the 3M sponge, the glue and grit has still been penetrated through causing the acrylic to cut into the foam. We kept the best for last. As you have seen from the test to this point, the Rustoleum sponge is clearly the best choice between these three options. Due to the high-quality glue that is used to make these, and the manufacturing process being perfected, the Rustoleum sponge is not experiencing any failure. Even though this is a sharp surface, it is not able to penetrate the coating. If you want to sell the best, Rustoleum is the only choice.